प्रविश्योमवाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञा भक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चारुव्रता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Which verse?
76.
71. Arudha-bhakti-punkunjita-bhavacara
शिवस्मरणवाणगणैरमोघैः निर्जित्य गिरिशर्पुं विजयी सुधीन्द्रः सानन्दमावहति सुस्थिरराजलक्ष्मीम् ध्यानाञ्जनेन समवेक्ष्य तमः प्रदेशम् भित्वा महाबलिभिरीश्वरनाममन्त्रैः दिव्याश्रितं भुजगभूषणमुद्वहन्ति ये पादपद्ममिहते शिवते कृतार्थाः भूदारतामुदवहद्यदपेक्षया श्रीभूदार एव किमतः सुमते लभस्व केदारमाकलिलमुक्तिमहौषधीनाम् पादारविन्दभजनं परमेश्वरस्य आशापाशक्लेशदुर्वासनादिभेदोद्युक्तैर्दिव्यगन्धैरमन्दैः आशाशाटीकस्य पादारविन्दम् चेतः पेटीं वासितां मे तनोतु कल्याणिनं सरसचित्रगतिं सवेगम् सर्वेङ्गितज्ञमनघं ध्रुवलक्षणाढ्यम् चेतस्तुरङ्गमधिरुह्य शरस्मरारे नेतः समस्तजगतां वृषभाधिरूढा.
Last class we had a detailed discussion on verse 75, 76. भक्तिर्महेश पदपुष्करमावसन्ती
भक्तिर्महेश पदपुष्करमावसन्ती भक्तिर्महेश पदपुष्करमावसन्ती
कादम्बिनीव कुरुते परितोषवर्षम्
कादम्बिनीव कुरुते परितोषवर्षम् कादम्बिनीव कुरुते परितोषवर्षम्
सम्पूरितो भवति यस्य मनस्तटाकः
सम्पूरितो भवति यस्य मनस्तटाकः सम्पूरितो भवति यस्य मनस्तटाकः
तज्जन्मसस्यमखिलं सफलं च नान्यत्
तज्जन्मसस्यमखिलं सफलं च नान्यत् तज्जन्मसस्यमखिलं सफलं च नान्यत्
तज्जन्म सफलम. तज्जन्म सफलम न अन्यत्. The simple message of the verse. Tajjanma saphalam na anyat janma. So the life of that person is something which is fulfilled. Na anyat janma. So is what is indicated by the last word na anyat. Kasya janma saphalam. And here he uses the metaphor of janma as sasyam. Sasyam means flows. Sasyam, dhanyam. Tajjanma sasyam. In fact, this sasyam itself is indicative of what actually happens. So it is a profound meaning that has been intended by Bhagavad Pada by using the word sasyam. In fact, there is an interesting verse, sasyamiva martyah pachyate,
sasyamiva jayate punaha.
sasyamiva ajayate punaha. Where?
Kathopanishad.
Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad, we have sasyamiva martyah pachyate, sasyamiva ajayate punaha. In fact, the sasya, it's very interesting. Sasyamiva martyaha pachyate. Sasyamiva ajayate. So if you look at, so the crop comes up, right? And the same crop, so some dhanyas will be eating, and then so that dies, the dhanya goes, once again comes back. So similarly, you take a certain janma and you perform a certain karma. Understand? So some karma is just taking back. Once again you are born, once again you are coming. So the cycle of birth and death is indicated by the example, rather the rupaka that he has used here. Janma eva sasyam. Tajjanma sasyam. Tajjanma sasyam akhilam saphalam. So akhilam saphalam, this akhilam can be understood to be a kriya visheshanam also. Akhilam saphalam. The entire thing is completely fulfilled. You can take. You can also associate with other things, but we will just take it currently. Tajjanma sajjanma akhilam saphalam tajjanma sasyam akhilam saphalam. Kasya janma kada. So that is what has to be understood. Bhaktil mahesha padapushkaram avasanti kadambini vakurute paritosha varsham. Bhaktihi. Bhaktihi, if you see the first half, there is a kriyapada. What is the kriyapada? Kurute. Bhaktihi kurute. Bhaktihi kim kurute? Kurute means thus. What does it do? It basically showers. Kadambiniva is the simile that has been used here. The word Kadambini is used to refer to a series of clouds. A series of clouds. Kadambini Meghamala. Huh?
Kadambini Meghamala Tishu Megha Bhavet.
So this is the kosha. So Meghamala. Kadambiniva Paritosha Varsham Kurute. Kadambini Varsham Kurute. This word Varsha is used to refer to year. It is also used to refer to the shower. Right? In fact, it can be used either in Pullinga or Napunsakalinga. Both forms are generally employed. So Vatsara is also used to be referred by the word Varsha. Vatsara. Why is it used? It is used in a metaphorical sense. Vrusha Sechane is the dhatu. So Vrusha Sechane, from that, whatever showers, okay. So this the act of showering, okay, happens. That is, therefore, it is rain. Okay, it refers to rain. It can happen only once in a year. There are 4 seasons. We call something as rainy season, and therefore Varshaha is only one kala, and therefore, in a different sense, So you can refer to the Vatsara also as Varsha. Now here the Varsha that is being talked about is rain, and Varsha can in fact be also used to refer to the cloud. Yena Vrishyate Saha Varsha. It depends upon the context in which it has been employed. But as such, in this verse, Paritosha Varsham, when it is used, it is showering happiness. Okay. So Paritosha Eva Varsham. So Bhakti Paritosha Varsham Kurute. The devotion. Paritosha Varsham Kurute. When will it do? And the simile here that is employed is Kadambini Iva. Kadambini Iva. Like the Kadambini. Like the Kadambini because the series of clouds, think of the Varsha Kala. So it just comes and then goes, once again some other cloud comes. Particularly in Mumbai this season. Okay. We have continuous shower for a couple of months. So here, just conceive of a series of clouds, okay, with some intermittent gaps that you keep on pouring. Similarly, Bhakti will keep on pouring. Will keep on pouring what? Happiness. Okay. Paritosha Varsham Kurute. For that, one has to really practice this bhakti. So people who have trained a certain lifestyle in which they spend a certain period of time in doing this meditation or archana, there are different forms of bhakti. Navadha bhakti, in fact we have in Bhagavata Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnohu. You don't know the word? Repeat. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnohu.
Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho.
Smaranam Padasevanam.
Smaranam Padasevanam. Smaranam Padasevanam.
Archanam Vandanam Dasyam.
Archanam Vandanam Dasyam. Archanam Vandanam Dasyam.
Sakyamatma Nivedanam.
Sakyamatma Nivedanam. Sakyamatma Nivedanam.
A few of them are listed in this verse. So here the Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam Padasevanam. Any of the forms is okay. If for some people bhakti means just to go and listen to some lectures. Those days it can be physical, now it can be electronically also. So Shravanam. Then you take a certain stotra and then sing it. It can be a bhajan, it can be a stotra, whatever it is. So if you just sing aloud, Kirtanam, it can even be simple Nama Sankirtan. So Hare Rama, some people keep singing. Smaranam Padasevanam. There are different forms of bhakti. Okay? So some people keep engaging themselves. So in fact, I saw in Bengaluru when I went. So one lady, so she does not do puja, but she has some interest in growing some flowers. So she meticulously gathers flowers, so and then goes and offers. So whoever does it, you can do archana, you can do help for doing archana. So all of them are included. Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam. So now here this bhakti, he says, Mahesha Pada Pushkaramavasanti Bhaktil Mahesha Pada Pushkaramavasanti. Mahesha Pada Pushkaram. Mahesha Pada Pushkaram. The word Pushkara has various meanings. So, Pushkarini is a name that they use for referring to the lake. So Pushkara can mean lotus, Pushkara can mean Akasha. Pushkara refers to one form of, one class of a cloud also. Okay. So in fact, we have this thing. What is that? We have in Meghaduta somewhere. Pushkaram. Pushkaravartakana. He uses it. So Pushkaravartakana. So right at the beginning, he uses. So this Pushkara. Now this word Pushkara means various things. Here there are two meanings which can be taken. Pushkara can refer to lotus, Pushkara can refer to even Akasha. So both these meanings seem to be fitting well here. Mahesha Pada Pushkaram. The standard simile that is used for referring to Pada is Padma. Right? Pada Padma is what we generally use. So in that sense, Pada Pushkaram. Then Avasanti, you can just take it as Asamantatu Vasanti. It means so deeply engaged with that. So it dwells there. So it dwells in the lotus feet of Mahesha is one meaning. If you take the word Pushkara to mean space here, even then that fits well. So how do we understand that? Maheshasya Charanakasham. We use this commonly even in the English language. So the space in which he is moving around, you say. The space in which he is moving around means he is not sanchara, it's not. It is referring to a certain location. Understand? So the space. So the space basically refers to a certain location also. Now this Charanaravinda is the space in which this bhakti has to be. So the bhakti has to go and occupy that space. Means it should sort of limit itself. Understand? Bhaktihi Mahesha Pada Pushkaramavasanti. So this devotion. So then what does it do? Paritosha Varisham Kurute. Once this happens, if you have trained yourself, I know certain people, see, who really come out extremely happy after doing jnana, puja, etc. For a certain period of time, we should dwell. Okay. So if they don't do, see, then it becomes very difficult for them. So paritosha varisham kurute. So it is basically a certain training. Okay. Bhaktihi. Bhaktihi means devotion. See, bhaktihi paritosha varisham kurute. But there are certain other people who have a different kind of a bhakti. So then what happens is paritapa varisham kurute, not paritosha varisham. So you know our stories. There are some people who are so devoted. Even Tulsidas, they say, he was so devoted to his wife. Okay, he cannot miss her. Once she went, he was just chasing. You know that story? They have the story. Okay. So it was just chasing. She was very annoyed. And then she once so strongly says, hey, the bhakti that you show towards me, if you show towards Rama, so then it will be okay. So then apparently he got so ashamed and then he became Bhakti. This is what they say. Anyway, so the bhakti people have in various things. Okay. So bhakti in certain other trading also they have. All the time they will keep thinking of this. Sometimes paritosha, but many a times paritapa. Bhaktil Mahesha Pada Pushkaram Avasanti. Where is bhakti? Bhakti is a certain frame in which you are completely focused on something. A devotion. That is why even it's Swaswaroopanusandhanam bhaktiriktyabhidhiyate. Swaswaroopanusandhanam bhaktiriktyabhidhiyate. See, Niratishayam Prema. That is what is bhakti. Niratishayam Prema is bhakti. So this bhakti can be in anything. You can have prema in that, you can have prema in something else, you can have prema. So your mind is completely attracted. That is what is that bhakti. Now he says Bhaktir Mahesha Padapushkaram Avasanti. When it sort of goes and then gets fixed with this Mahesha Padapushkaram, if it lives in the space of Mahesha Padapushkaram, then Kadambini Vakurute Paritosha Varsham. So then the effect of it is like a series of clouds which will keep on showering happiness. Kadambini Vakurute Paritosha Varsham. Then he says, Sampurito Bhavati Yasya Manastata Kaha. Because of this Varsha, the mind in the form of tank, if it gets filled, Sampurito Bhavati Yasya Manastata Kaha. Then Tajjanma Sasyam Akhilam Sapalam Chananyat. Tajjanma Sasyam Akhilam. So it is like this. So earlier also we had a similar verse. Dhiyantrena Vacho Ghatena. So that earlier there was one verse which was somewhat similar to this. So here Tajjanma Sasyam Akhilam. The Sasyam requires water. Understand? The Sasyam requires water. Without the water, Sasyam is going to be a failure. Okay? It cannot be successful. So here the Sasyam is Janma and Bhakti is the source which is going to get water for this. And where should it be stored? It should be stored in the Manastataka. So then this will keep fetching water to the field and the Sasyam will keep growing well. See, Tajjanma Sasyam. Now this Kadambini is an interesting thing. This word Kadambini, since you are all students who have studied a bit of Sahitya, this word Kadambini has been used to refer to Sri Krishna himself. So that is what this Jagannatha uses. You know, what is Jagannatha Pandita's word? Rasagangadhara. First verse is Smrta Pitarunaayate
Tarunatapam Karuna Bharanti Nrena.
I'll tell you, repeat. Smrta Pitarunatapam
Smrta Pitarunatapam Smrta Pitarunatapam
Karunaya Haranti Nrinam.
Karunaya Haranti Nrinam. Karunaya Haranti Nrinam.
Abhanguratanuttvisham.
Abhanguratanuttvisham. Abhanguratanuttvisham.
Valaita Shatair Vidyutam.
Valaita Shatair Vidyutam. Valaita Shatair Vidyutam.
Kalindagiri Nandini.
Kalindagiri Nandini. Kalindagiri Nandini.
Tatasuradrumalambini.
Tatasuradrumalambini. Tatasuradrumalambini.
Madiya Matichumbini.
Madiya Matichumbini. Madiya Matichumbini.
Bhavatu Kapi Kadambini.
Bhavatu Kapi Kadambini. Bhavatu Kapi Kadambini.
So this has some similarity. That is what I wanted to tell you. Now you see, this is a beautiful verse, in fact, amazing verse. He is a great literary critic, Jagannatha Pandita. He says, Mrtapi Tarunatapam Karunaya Haranti Pranam. Nowhere in this verse he refers to Lord Krishna explicitly. He just gives us a certain hint through which we have to understand this is a certain special poetic usages, okay, where they don't actually explicitly say something, but they will give you certain phrases through which you may have to understand what is being conveyed. Okay, so these are considered to be high levels of poetic composition. Smritapi tarunadatam karunaya haranti nrinam. So this Kadambini, when thought over, okay, it need not Smritapi. See, Smritapi means normally this Kadambini Meghamala, right? This Meghamala only when it comes, this Tarunatapam will go, right? So sun is scorching and the Meghamala comes, then Tarunatapam haranti. Okay, that Kadambini. But here this Kadambini is a special Kadambini. By merely thinking, it Atapam haranti, it snatches away the Atapa, the burning in our heart. That is what he is saying. Bhakti. Okay. Paritosha varsham kurute. Paritosha varsham kurute. Normally only some tapa is there. This did not happen, that did not happen, etc. Various kinds of dissatisfactions, okay, are experienced by people, and that generates some heat. So here, this Kadambini, Smritapi, okay, by mere thought, Smritapi Tarunatapam Karunaya Haranti Vinam. Then he gives Abhanguratanu Tvisham Balayita Shatir Vinyutam. I will not explain that takes some more time. The third thing is, he says, Kalinda Girinandini Tatasuradrumalambini. There he gives the hint. Kalindagiri Nandini Tatasuradrumalambini. Kalindagiri Nandini. What does it refer to? Yamuna. Kalindaja. In fact, there is a nice stotra, no? Kalin. Many people would have memorized here in those studies, in those days. So some of the stotras are being taught when people are quite young. Kalindajantas Sthita Kaliyasya Panagrarange Natana Priyantam Tatpuchhastam Charadim Duvatram Balam Mukundam Manasasmarami. Balam Mukundam Manasasmarami. So we'll keep saying this. So there Kalindaja is the usage. Antasthita Kaliyasya. Okay, the Kali and Naga which was there inside the Yamuna. Okay, so Kalindajantasthita Kaliyasya. Here he says Kalindagiri Nandini Tatasuradrumalambini. Kalindagiri Nandini. Since it is a poetic usage, he wants to have alliteration. So Kalindagiri Nandini means the one which gives happiness to the Kalindagiri. Which means basically the flow of the river there. So which emanates from Kalinda. Kalindagiri Nandini Tata Suradrumalambini. So Krishna is under the tree on the banks of Yamuna. That is what he is describing. So that is how through that phrase we understand this Kadambini. Kapi Kadambini. So this Kapi Kadambini, Krishna's complexion is dark in nature. So this special Kadambini. So when the clouds are so thick, okay, series of clouds means one above the other. So when they are coming one after the other, one will be above the other. If you go in the flight, you can see various layers of clouds. Okay. So from the top they will all be bright, but when you go to the bottom, you will see all of them to be dark. Okay. So that is how Kapi Kadambini is what he uses. There the word Kadambini is used to refer to Krishna himself. So here he says Kadambiniva kurute paritoshavarisham. So this Kadambini, see, when it showers also, one feels happy. So here Kadambiniva is very important to understand that this bhakti is to be continuously like a Meghamala. So once I do and then stop, that is not going to help. Okay? So if you have cultivated a certain habit by which you continuously engage in that, then you will see that there is a paritosha varisham. And he says, Sampuritaha bhavati. See, Sampuritaha bhavati is also a certain important phrase. We use this in English language, also in other languages. Manasi naranji pochu. In Tamil they use Manasi naranji pochu means my mind is completely filled by a certain act. Right? So here this bhakti will make you feel filled in heart. Sampurito bhavati yasya manastakaha. The other thing will not make you happy. It will not fill. Okay? So this is something which is not requiring any external agent for you to fill. This is an internal process which will make you feel fulfilled. So the idea here is, irrespective of the outcome of what you face in life, so you can take, this is also prasada, that is also prasada. If it is a sukha, that is also prasada. If it is a dukkha, it is also prasada. So thereby you can make your mind fulfilled. If it is something which you wanted and you gained it, go to Ishvara and then say it is all because of prasada. If it is some dukkha, then also you can go and tell Ishvara, maybe you want to take away my papa through this experience. It is also your prasada. So that is how we have to understand Bhaktir Mahesha Padapushkaramaavasanti Kadambini Vakurute Paritoshavarisham Sampurito Bhavati Yasya Manastakaha Tajjanmasasya Makhilam Sapalam Chananyati. Otherwise, what happens is the sasya will not grow well. So you will be essentially a person with various kinds of dissatisfaction in life. Okay? Various kinds of sequence of dissatisfactions. So that need not happen provided you develop this bhakti. That is the message. Read the verse. Bhaktirmanesha padapushkaramaavasanti Kadambiniva kurute paritoshavarisham Sampurito bhavati yasya manastakaha Tajjanmasasya makhilam saphalam chananyat. Very good. Buddhisthira bhavitum ishvara pada padma. Buddhisthira bhavitum ishvara pada padma. Buddhisthira bhavitum ishvara pada padma. Sakta vadhur virahini vasada smaranti. Sakta vadhur virahini vasada smaranti. Sakta vadhur virahini vasada smaranti. Sadbhavana smaranadalshana kirtanadi. Sadbhavana smaranadalshana kirtanadi. Sadbhavana smaranadalshana kirtanadi. Sammohiteva shivamantra japena vinte. Sammohiteva shivamantra japena vinte.
सम्मोहितेव शिवमन्त्रजपेन विन्ते
बुद्धिस्थिरा भवितुम् ईश्वरपादपद्मसत्ता वधूर्विरहिणीव सदा स्मरन्ति सद्भावना स्मरणदर्शन कीर्तनादि सम्मोहितेव शिवमन्त्रजपेन विन्ते. So here in the first half of the verse you find a certain simile that is indicated by the word iva. And again in the second half, in the fourth quarter, sammohiteva. Once again there is iva. So here he says vinte, that is the kriyapadam. Vinte, buddhihi, buddhihi vinte. Okay, that is the karta. Vinte, so vinte, vinte means, okay, there is a verse, so you learn this verse. Okay, I'll tell you, this vidudhat, so it has 4 different meanings depending upon what kind of suffix you tag to that. Okay. So that is stated, there is a common prasiddha verse. Saptayam vindate, saptayam vidyate jnane,
सत्तायां विद्यते ज्ञाने सत्तायां विद्यते ज्ञाने
vetti vinte vicharane,
वेत्ति विन्ते विचारणे वेत्ति विन्ते विचारणे
vindate vindati praptau,
विन्दते विन्दति प्राप्तौ विन्दते विन्दति प्राप्तौ
श्यन् लुक्ष्णं शेष्वनुक्रमात्, श्यन् लुक्ष्णं शेष्वनुक्रमात्, श्यन् लुक्ष्णं शेष्वनुक्रमात्. Maybe a bit difficult. These are the suffixes. Shen, lukshnam, shen, lukshnam, sheshvanukramat. Anyway, so we will not get into that now. The 4 meanings are stated here. Saptayam vidyate e. So if you add a certain suffix, then it becomes vidyate e. Vidyate e means it refers to existence. Sattayam vidyate jnane vetti. Vetti is the form. Jnane, when it refers to the same with dhatu. That is how the word Veda also. So, vidyate jnana, sattayam vidyate jnane vetti. Then, vinte vicharane. That is what we use. Vinte. So vinte, if it is used, it means vicharane, vicharayati. Okay, it is in that sense it is used. Vetti vinte vicharane, vindate vindati praptau. So praptau vindati. Okay, that is how it takes. Now in this verse he says buddhihi vinte. The mind does this vicharana. What vicharanam does it do? So there, sadbhavana smarana darshana kirtanadi. So the sadbhavana smarana darshana kirtanadi. So these are, just now we saw that verse, no? Various forms of bhakti. Smarana darshana kirtanadi. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasam. So these are all various forms. So he is just listing, that is why Adi, he says. Smarana, Darshana, Kirtanadi, Vinte. Vinte means Vicharayati. So it does this Vicharana. So after this, what do we do? After this, what do we do? There are various forms of worship. So it just keeps engaging into various activities one after the other. So that is what is indicated by this Sadbhavana Smarana Darshana Kirtanadi. And then he also uses a simile here, Sammohiteva. Sammohiteva means as if it is sammohita. Sammohita means samyak mohita. Understand? Samyak mohita means it is unable to come out of that. So if you are, as a musician, suppose you are so thoroughly enjoying a certain raga which you have learnt, then whatever you do, you will keep doing. I know some fellow. Okay? So whether he is taking bath or he is coming and doing this vibhuti, whatever it is, so he will keep singing. So that sammohanam is something which is completely to that particular thing. There are some people who keep all the time doing sammohiteva. Whatever you say, their mind will not come. In fact, I have seen recently one incident happened. So I try to distract him from various things. No, if it happens, what will happen? If it happens, what will happen? I said that will not happen. Okay? But that kind of a thought is completely occupying. No, if it. However much I tried, then finally I had to find some other solution. Maybe I said, no, this has not happened, you see this. Okay? So anyway, then the mind settled. So this is what is meant by sammohiteva. Then Shiva mantra japena vinte. Shiva mantra japena. So that is the process by which. So Shiva mantra japa, it can be anything in fact. This is a specific example that he is taking. So this itself is like a mantra. So here, normally people talk of mantra mugdha. You have heard this? Okay. So by using certain mantra, you may be able to make the other person mugdha. So mantra mugdha is the phrase. So similarly here, mantra japena, understand? Mohita. So this Shiva mantra. So this Shiva mantra japena, like we have these examples in stories. Meera Bhai. Whatever you say, her mind will be only thinking of Sri Krishna. So that is the Mohana Shakti. So sammohiteva Shiva mantra japena vinte. So they may be doing one thing at one point, but then, so you may do smaranam for some time, you may do padasevanam for some time, you may do archanam for some time, so you may do shravanam, so you make others sing and then keep listening sometime. Okay. So that is what is indicated in the third quarter. Sadbhavana. So this sadbhavana, so here you can take it as sadvishayini bhavana. So the sat here refers to the nitya swarupa Ishvara. Okay. So sat swarupa Ishvarasya bhavanam, tasya darshanam, tasya kirtanam, and so on are the various activities. Now, in the first half of the verse, there is another simile. Virahini vadhuriva. Virahini vadhuriva. Vadhuhu means the one who got married recently, let us say. Virahini, there is a separation. Virahini vadhuriva. After some time, separation is welcome. So I have seen people. I was quite surprised. So this that man, recently when I was in Chennai, So they two are just walking in the street. The two are walking in the street. So that he said something, and this man was about 10-15 feet or maybe 25 feet away. So this, I was inside my house. Some noise came. So that noise was a peculiar noise, and therefore I went shouting, yelling noise. So I went out, and then I saw. It was just Shani and Holland. So there are various things he used. So these are all some standard phrases in terms. Shani and Emily was just like a Saturn Graha. May you get lost, etc., etc. He was just shouting. He was just saying various things. Okay. So he was out of control. He did not even realize that he was in the street. Anyway, he had to say. So anyway, so here you see. So here, Virahini Vadhurivaha. Okay, this Virahini Vadhu. So they want to be together. Okay, but there is a certain separation. And then whatever be her mind. Virahini Vadhu. Will always be, the mind will always be thinking of that person. So similarly, he says, Sada Smaranti. So if you want to find descriptions of real Viraha, then you may have to read Valmiki Ramayana. You may have to read Meghaduta. So then the heart will be beautifully portrayed by the poets. Understand? So Ramayana also very beautifully portrayed. And Kalidasa brings him. In his Raghumsha also he will say various places. You will see that. Buddhihi sthira bhavitum. So here in the first quarter you can take this word Ishvara to be an addressing word also, or you can take as a samastapada. Ishvarapada Padma Sakta is one way of understanding. The other way of understanding is Bhavitum He Ishvara. He Ishvara. So he wants his buddhi sthira bhavitum. In the previous verse he said, if this bhakti were there, sthira, then paritosha varsha is the phala. So for this paritosha varsha, so this buddhi has to be sthira. Asthira buddhi will not help. And therefore he is saying, He Ishvara. He Ishvara. So here there is an implication. What is the implication here? Say, since you are Ishvara, may you make this buddhi sthira. Ishvara, in fact, is one who has the ability to change things as he likes. Kartum akartum anyatha kartum samarthaha Ishvaraha. Okay. Kartum akartum anyatha kartum samarthaha Ishvaraha. Nowadays these bosses are considered Ishvaras. These big bosses. Therefore people will just move. I just saw even normal vice chancellor. Okay, you just see, he need not be big boss. So big companies are big bosses, they will be moving around. That I have seen. Here, so even for them they do. So here you see, Buddhisthira bhavitum he Ishvara Pada Padma Sakta Virahini Badhuhu Iva Sada Asmaranti. Tava Pada Padma Sakta Sada Smaranti Yam Buddhihi Sthira Bhavatu He Ishvara. Okay, Sthira Bhavitum. So you anugrahana, you can just take it that way also. Okay. Buddhisthira Bhavitum. In fact, there is a nice verse, no? This Sthira Bhavitum means it is always chanchala. For that he says, Paribhramasi kim mudha. It's a beautiful verse. Read. Repeat. Paribhramasi kim mudha.
Paribhramasi kim mudha.
Kim mudha.
Mudha.
Vachana chitta vishramyatam. Vachana chitta vishramyatam. Vachana chitta vishramyatam. Swayam bhavati.
Swayam bhavati. Swayam bhavati.
Yadyatha tattatha. Yadyatha swayam bhavati yadyatha. Bhavati yadyatha tattatha bhavati nanyatha. Tadyattattatha bhavati nanyatha. Tattatha bhavati nanyatha. Atitamanusmaran.
Atitamanusmaran. Atitamanusmaran.
Apicha bhavya sankalpayan.
Apicha bhavya sankalpayan. Apicha bhavya sankalpayan.
Atarkita samagaman.
Atarkita samagaman. Atarkita samagaman.
Anubhavami bhoganaham.
Anubhavami bhoganaham. Anubhavami bhoganaham.
This is essentially an expression of some person who has realized the futility of worrying about various things. If paribhramasi, it just keeps wandering. This paribhramasi kim mudha. Mudha means futile, infutile. Why are you keep wandering? Paribhramasi kim mudha. Kvachana chitta vishramyatam. May you take rest for some time. See, the resting is basically engaging in this kind of activities, puja. Kvachana chitta vishramyatam. May you take rest. Kvachana. For some time, at least in something. Kvachana chitta vishramyatam. Swayam bhavati yadyatha bhavati tattatha nanyatha. Maybe did I say this? Swayam bhavati yadyatha bhavati tattatha nanyatha. Paribhramasi kim mudha kvachana chitta vishramyatam. Swayam bhavati yadyatha bhavati tattatha nanyatha. Correct. Swayam bhavati yadyatha bhavati tattatha nanyatha. Things keep happening. Yadyatha bhavati tattatha nanyatha means as per your own karma, if you have to have some bhoga, you have to have that bhoga. Whether it is sukha bhoga or dukha bhoga. Sukha bhoga or dukha bhoga. It is going to happen. Tattatha nanyatha. Therefore, his atitamanusmaran. Without keeping on lamenting of what happened. Atitamanusmaran. Apicha bhavya sankalpayan. Bhavi sankalpanam. So bhavi sankalpanam is something which grabs people. This has to happen, this has to happen. Apicha bhavya sankalpayan. So don't keep sankalpa. This is what has to happen. That is the problem. Atarkita samagaman. Certain unexpected things may happen. Anubhavami. I am just experiencing. Bhoganaham. That is what is stated here. Atarkita samagaman. So things will just. Atarkita means that which was not totally expected, totally unexpected things. Anubhavami. I am just experiencing bhoganaham. So that is where I told you in the previous verse also. Atarkita samagama. Whether it is source of happiness or source of sorrow, you just take it as prasada. So that is what is being stated here. Buddhi sthira bhavitum Ishvara pada padma. So you just submit your ego to Ishvara. So Ishvara pada padma sakta madhur virahini vasada smaranti sadbhavana smarana darshana kirtanadi sammohiteva shivamantra japena vinte. Sammohiteva shivamantra japena vinte. Shivamantra japena vinte vicharayati. So even if you are, I'm just telling you a very, very practical way handling things. In fact, nobody is going to be perennially suffering from dukkha or perennially experiencing sukha. So this is going to be a cycle only. And even when you are in distress, the only way is to take refuge in Ishvara and then say, hey Ishvara, so this is what it is. So may this change perhaps. So this is what you can do beyond that. Particularly for changing the buddhi of others. The situations can be to some extent changed. The changing of buddhi of others is not necessarily in our hands. So we may try very hard. So here, so finally you go to Ishvara and then you submit. So this will be very, very helpful. Okay. So buddhi sthira bhavatu. Sthira bhavatu means it is also indicated here. What happens is some people, so they keep doing this bhakti and then suddenly something will happen. Then they will say, denounce this. Hey, I have been doing this bhakti, I am not doing this. They start blaming. Your own karma you are just doing. Why blame Ishvara? So he is just karma phala data. So anyway, so this bhakti, so this is a very beautiful philosophy, and this basically sort of transforms something internally, and this internal transformation itself makes you view things very differently. And this view, once it changes, then the environment also changes. So the way we perceive the environment, the way others perceive, so all things will change. So that is the idea here. Let us read. Buddhisthira bhavitumishvara pada padma sakta vadhur virahini vasada
smaranti
sadbhavana smarana darshana kirtanadi
sammohiteva shivamantra japena vinte.